Howdy and welcome back to West of Loathing. Now, I wanted to, so you can see that we are not at Gun Manor. There's a reason for that. Well, probably multiple reasons, but so hands down, I have, if we go into our inventory, you will see that if we go to quest items, I have made an exploding cigar. I have made a spooky lullaby sheet. I have, where is that at? Oh yeah, that's under, technically it's not like here. I've made a silencer, not a silencer, but a silencer, and put it on the worst gun. I can make more silencers if necessary, because the items needed for that are perhaps infinite. Maybe not entirely, but probably fairly close to it. So, yeah. One more thing that I have got. So the reason why I'm Dirtwater is because I was basically intending on grinding. So I just used the wander option a lot. Got a lot of mostly fairly useless stuff, like stuff needed for eating and drinking and such during combat. But at a point, I also got Wandering Sally's Camp. Now, you might remember that we did discover that once. And in the second encounter with Wandering Sally, as soon as I can find it, here, Get Cracking, a guide to modern safes. Gives you the safe cracking skill. Now, I'm not going to go through all the saves that we've already been through, like the saves that we already passed, but I am going to go between episodes and go through those saves. This book outlines techniques for opening safes without knowing the combination. This skill will come in handy if you ever encounter a safe whose combination isn't scrawled on a nearby wall. When you're done reading it, you lock it up in a safe that turns out to be slightly too difficult for you to crack, so it's gone forever. Dang it. Right, let's go back to gun. Actually, there is a quest that we have to turn in here first. One that we got way back. You might remember that we got a quest from the chef here to pick up saltpeter. It was from one of the forts, and we've just been neglecting it, basically. 10 experience. Oh, he has more stuff. Murder pepper, because it's real spicy. Because it literally has a knife and kills people who ask dumb questions. They grow in the area outside of town. You should be able to find one if you just wander around for a while. Okay, let's do that and see if we can't do that. You catch a whiff of something that makes your eyes water. You trace it to its source. A vividly colored red shape hanging from a scraggly little plant. This must be the southeast western murder pepper that fella at the jewel was looking for. Your finger and thumb immediately start throbbing as you pluck the pepper. You toss it into your rucksack before it can do any more damage. Alright. Ooh. Oh, so if you're still looking for stuff to do, I need to go check my mail. I ordered a new saute knife, but I haven't got the time to fetch it myself. Okay. I mean, these are easy to do quests, and like, they really are just for the sake of getting it done. So, you find P.O. Box number 441. Saute knife. Even though you're holding it, you're pretty sure there's no such thing as a saute knife. So anyway, it's too thin to use as a weapon, so it's not even worth stealing. Why would I do that? I literally have honorable as one of my skills. So we're just doing this, and then we're heading back to Gun Manor to do as many of the things as we can. One more favor. Oh. Okay, I only need one more favor, but it's the most important. I used to have this recipe for a very secret jerk sauce, but my jerk friend Dave J stole it from me, and then he died and took the secret to his grave. Literally, I mean, he was buried with it. You want me to dig up his grave? He's dead, he won't mind. Maybe he will, and maybe we have to fight a skeleton. But that's definitely the Dave yard because he was named Dave. Okay. Dave L, Dave G, Dave J. You dig up the grave and pry open the coffin. Instead of a corpse, it contains a garbage bag. You reach into the garbage bag and surprised to find that it's full of pudding. No, it's not just pudding. It's pudding and motor oil. Who would do this? You finally manage to reach all the way to the bottom of the bag and retrieve a sudden lump from the bottom. You unglob the wad and dry it off and then wash your arm in a nearby ditch. This better be worth it. Can we? Oh. Fine. Boop. Sloppy top hat. Wow, this is definitely meant for a quest to do early on. I guess it would be how to discover the Dave yard if you weren't otherwise doing that. So where's the... oh, there's the door. Right, back to Gun Manor and let's deal with some ghosts. Let's start with the library ghost on the second floor. Oh. Hey, look, I invented this. Shh, how many times do I have to tell you? Sorry, I invented this thing that makes the guns really quiet. Oh, marvelous! I can finally rest in peace knowing that libraries will now be safe from the noise of gunfire. It is only in an atmosphere of quiet that true joy dare live. Bertrand Russell. With that, he dissipates into nothingness. He isn't famous yet. Woo! Okay. So now we have... actually, let's check in with Florence. How many ghosts are left? 4 ghosts left. None on the first floor, 1 on the second, and 3 on the third. Okay. Guest rooms? Oh yes, the exploding cigar fella. Did you figure out how to make a good exploding cigar? One that doesn't turn fun into funeral? I can't even make basic wordplay funny. Well, it was kind of clever, but... I think this is what you're looking for. That's an exploding cigar. Yup. Sometimes a cigar is just a cigar, but not this time. What did you use for explosive? I found a really small firecracker. Just big enough to blow up the cigar without also blowing up someone's face. Also without the, violent lead projectile. You're a genius. Please let me see it in action so I can finally rest. Ooh, did I level up? I didn't expect us to actually do that. Like, I expected it to just go in text and be like, hey, you've done this. Okay. That means there are 2 ghosts left. Wait, what? Isn't that... 3 ghosts left on the premises. 3 on the 3rd floor. Alright, he was not in the music room. Kids room? I forgot the funky music. Was it in the music? Oh yes, it was the music room. That's right. Try talking to him. Ask him about his death. What happened? Oh, right. I should probably play the music. Boop. Play the lullaby. I hope this isn't copyrighted. Oh, and save tracking to level 2. Well, I mean, presumably, Rain has never seen a music sheet before. And, I mean, if I could play like that, that would be amazing. I don't know jack shit about music notes. I'd love to, but nah. Don't have the patience for it. Alright, well, so that means there are just 2 ghosts left. Now, I haven't completely done everything about this manliness ghost in... not the billiard room. Here? Ah, yes, the trophy room. Now, how would I go on about... Alright, let's try it. Alright, against my better judgment, I'll play knife checkers with you. You yank one of the knives out of the board, and Lord Houston instructs you to hold it left-handed. The rules are, you may only attack your opponent's hands, and only when they're over the board. Displaced checkers are played from where they land, but attacking the board directly is a foul, which awards the opponent a stab-free turn. It appears to primarily be a game of concentration, quick movements, and feinting. I mean, I should have... If I have the muscle and mysticality, I definitely also have the moxie to it. You start out the game by attacking quickly and fiercely to establish dominance and keep your opponent from developing his pieces. This strategy is somewhat effective, but your Houston doesn't scare easily, and he manages to feint a few pieces past your guard. You enter the mid-game more or less evenly matched. In the mid-game, you focus on the checkers... more on the checkers than on your knife work, maneuvering into position some big gains in the long term. You suffer a few minor nicks and cuts, but are well positioned for the end game. Lord Houston spots a hole in your defense. He feints left, then quickly slides one of his pieces into the gap and into your trap. This moves his hand just to the position you need to attack it with a hard downward stab. He easily yanks his hand out of the way, and your knife only hits one of your pieces on its edge, flipping it across the board to land neatly in his back rank. King me. I say, it's a foul to attack the board. Sure, but I wasn't, was I? I attacked your hand, you dodged, and that's all. You sneaky blighter! Play continues, but with the king behind Lord Houston's line, you clean up fairly quickly. Alright, lads, I concede. Marvellous play, eh, what? Well done. He gives you a smart salute and fades away into nothingness. Well, okay. That was easy. Well, I mean, a skill of 30 in each of them, that would require either some serious potion use or, well, arriving at this relatively late state, like high level in the game. So, yeah, you could probably enter Gun Manor pretty early on. I mean, some of the encounters in the hedge maze are definitely not low level. The spiders in the basement? Not low level either. And I don't know if they scale. Well, let's see. Is Florence with us here? Because... she is not. Okay. Let's go out and talk to her then. You're not Florence. How are we looking? Only one ghost left on the premises. And it's on the 3rd floor. Looks like they have a music room. What kind of music do you like, Florence? Electro House. What? You haven't heard of it yet. You won't have heard of it yet. How bohemian of you. The door is locked. Yeah. It's Rain and Florence, ma'am, the ghost hunters. Florence and Rain. Whatever. I do feel significantly less haunted. Did you get rid of all the ghosts? Did you get rid of all the ghosts? We sure did, ma'am. Actually, my scanner says this is one. Shh. Yes, ma'am. All the ghosts accounted for. Well, that's splendid. Come on right in. Oh. She was the last ghost preferred. Bookshelves. Alright. Turn that off. More experience. Turn that off. I don't know if there is an achievement to it. There might be. Alright, Florence, what do you say? Current location? How are we doing, Florence? You knew she was a ghost all along? Yeah, I had my suspicions. You must be more in tune with all this narrative stuff than I am. You get used to it. Okay. Well, that thing... Break-in case of attic. Attic opening stick. Ooh. Bop. Hello, Mrs. Gunn. Hello, Rain, was it? Thank you so much for getting rid of all those ghosts for me. Yeah, about that. Turns out there's one left. Oh, dear, well, I need you to take care of it before I can pay you. Mrs. Gunn, I've got some bad news for you. Oh, what's that? It's you. You're a ghost man. Well, I'll be. When did that happen, I wonder? My condolences. Why, thank you. You're very kind. You know, this does explain some things. Like what? Like, I haven't had any appetite for months. Nearly a year, in fact. They keep sending food out from the kitchen in the dumbwaiter, but I've just been dropping it out of the window and sending the empty plate back so the chef won't have her feelings hurt. There's also the fact that you're, well, translucent. Yes, I thought it was just cataracts. Mrs. Gunn, this prompts a question, you know. What's that? Why are you a ghost? Well, I'm sure I don't know. You're the expert. Perhaps you can tell me. Actually, that's me. I'm the expert. Do you have some kind of unfinished business? Something that's tying you to this place? Well, now that you mention it, I suppose I do. Do you mind telling me about it? My entire family disappeared a few years ago, my husband and 3 daughters. Yeah, I heard about that, sorry for your loss. The sheriff suspected they'd been kidnapped for ransom, but no one ever made any demands. They just vanished. I never found out what happened. I always thought they were taken away by ghosts. What do you think that? I always felt guilty about how many people have been killed by my invention. The belt buckle? The gun. Oh, right. I used to worry that the ghost would come back to haunt me. When I built this house, I had an electrical anti-ghost field installed in the walls of this room, so they couldn't get in. No way! Awesome! Wait, doesn't that affect you? Well, I'm sure it would if I attempted to walk through the wall, but it had never occurred to me to try. After Dan and the girls disappeared, I became so sure that ghosts had gotten them and that I locked myself in here, after donating the rest of the house to the Historical Society, so there'd be someone to look after the place. Now I feel rather silly about the whole thing. Silly? I mean, ghosts do exist, obviously. Well, yes, but now that I'm a ghost myself, I can sense the presence of other ghosts. And they only just arrived in this house yesterday or the day before. That was when I called for an exterminator. You know, I didn't even question how I knew they were here, but I don't think there have been any ghosts here before them. Why did they all show up yesterday? I couldn't say. They seemed very angry and confused, but since they couldn't get in here, they gave up and started wandering around the house. They gave up quite easily, in fact. Maybe because you were already a ghost yourself, Well, Miss Gunn, what are we going to do with you? What do you mean? You did contract me for 13 ghosts, ma'am. You are the 13th. Oh, yes, well, obviously I could renegotiate the number with you, but perhaps you should go ahead and exercise me or whatever it is you do. I'd rather find a more peaceful solution. A peaceful solution? What do you mean? Well, we can also release you from your ghostitude by solving the problem that's keeping you here. In your case, I guess that means finding out what happened to your family. Well, I would be very grateful if you could. I assume they're dead, and to be honest, I think I've gotten used to that fact. But I surely would like to know what actually happened. Alright, I'll see what I can do. I have a feeling that's gonna be the attic. So let's mosey on over. I think that's in the kids' room. Here? No. It was the funky music room. And that's where I got the creepy music sheet. Like a blank music sheet with that. The gun was made in the basement, in the laboratory. Nope. surely the access to the attic would be from the 3rd floor, right? Oh, yes. Aha. Oh. Well, hello. Boxes of old hats. They're old hat. This dresser is now dressed as a goat. What's the haps, Florence? That guy looks like he's been living up here or something. That's creepy as heck. Creepier than if you were an actual ghost. I mean, yeah. On reflection, I agree. Alright, let's go talk to the fella. Hey, who the heck are you? I'm Rainbows, but since I'm not the guy who's apparently hiding out in Mrs. Gunn's attic, I feel like you ought to be the one answering that question. Who am I? Well, that's just freaking typical. I'm Chet Bullet, damn it. Am I supposed to have heard that name before? Yes, well, you damn well should. Mrs. Gunn's invention would have been nothing without mine. Wait, let me guess, you invented the bullet. Phew, I thought for sure you were going to say belt buckle again. Oh shoot, now I want to change my guess. You're damn right I invented the bullet, but I was her assistant so I didn't get any credit. Did I get any credit? Hell no. Sounds like you got an axe to grind. Not for much longer. Ah, jeez. Well, it looked like we found the bad guy. Okay, Chet, go ahead and tell us the details of your whole nefarious plan. I don't care much for your tone. Why should I tell you anything? Well, if you don't want to take credit for whatever genius plan, I'm fine to let you languish in obscurity. Well, it's too late for you to stop me anyway, so I suppose it wouldn't hurt to tell you. Certainly not as much as telling me would. When Mrs. Gunn dies, the control of the company and patents passes to me. I'm no murderer, mind you. I like to keep my hands clean, eh? But I figured there might be some other people who'd have a bone to pick with her, considering the manner of their death. You summoned all of the ghosts? That's right. All it took was some basic seance equipment wired up to the house belfry for amplification, snap for a mechanical genius like me. But seance gear summons ghosts related to the summoner. That's the whole point of a medium, or a person who knows how to direct the summoning on someone else's behalf, so you get to talk your own grandma instead of the summoners. You don't seem like the medium type to me, more like a small. But that does explain something I've been wondering about. Oh? It didn't make any sense for all of the ghosts here to be haunting Mrs. Gunn, because some of them weren't killed by guns, but they were all killed by bullets. And naturally I anticipated there'd be a couple of those. That's why I rigged this room with an anti-ghost field, which I cleverly boosted so that the ghost couldn't even sense me up here. So your plan was to summon... Oh! I just got that very loud achievement noise in my headphones and was like, what's going on? So your plan was to summon a bunch of angry ghosts who would initially be looking for you but would haunt Mrs. Gunn instead when they couldn't find you. Correct. And once they haunted her to death, Gunn Industries would be all mine. Well, I hate to be the bearer of good news, but Mrs. Gunn is dead. On the bright side, she's been dead for a year, so you pretty much wasted your time. What? Really? I'm rich. Now I just need to get out of here without all those ghosts spotting me. Yeah, the ghosts are gone too, so you're pretty much in the clear. Wonderful. The anti-ghost field is pretty effective, but it was starting to make the back part of my brain itch. He flips a switch in an electrical device, and you suddenly become aware of the absence of an extremely low-frequency hum right on the edge of your hearing. There is something else I wanted to ask you about. Ask away. What happened to Mrs. Gunn's family? Oh, them? They've been out of the picture for years. I heard a rumor Dan got killed by desperados and buried in a shallow grave out in the backside of nowhere, but of course I wouldn't actually know anything about that. Lucky for me, since I couldn't have inherited the company with him around. All their daughters... You son of a... Relax, the girl's fine, I'm not a monster. I'm pretty sure you are a monster. There's a weird little island kingdom somewhere on the other side of the ocean. Haha, Kingdom of Loathing. Apparently it's stuck in some kind of bizarre temporal field that keeps nearly anyone from entering or leaving. Can't even find the place if you don't know how to. Fortunately, I know a guy who knows how to, so I gave the girl 3 free tickets to sleepaway camp. Wasn't that nice of me? You're an absolute bastard. Oh, that hurts my feelings. Fortunately, I'm about to have a whole lot of money to console myself with. Why, you... Hold on, we should talk to Mrs. Gunn first before you tear this ass a new hole. I thought you said she was dead. Depending on what she says, you might be too. Alright. Oh, yeah, we need to leave the manliness room. Yes, I have good news and bad news. Go on, I'm ready. Chad Bullet had your husband killed and your daughters kidnapped, so he'd be the sole inheritor of your company when you died. Also, he's the reason why all the ghosts were here. That son of a... I should have expected something when he suddenly started being so ingratiating back then, and when he wrote off desperados on his expense account. I'd write him out of my will, but I suppose that's too late. That's rather galling. What's the good news? He says your daughters are safe. They're just on a magical island somewhere that nobody can get to. That's not exactly comforting, but at this point I'll take it. Plainly, if you wanted to kill them, he'd have just done so. But you spoke to him personally? Yeah, he didn't know you were dead. He didn't know you were already dead, so he's been hiding in your attic for the last couple of days, waiting for the ghost to kill you. What do you want me to do with him? Leave it up to you. I'm not in a state to make any reasoned judgment. Anyway, in any case, you answered my question and I can feel myself moving on already. Thank you for all the help. With a sad wave, Mrs. Gunn fades from view. Then, almost as an afterthought, the lock on her desk drawer pops open. Inside, you find a check written out to Cunningham Ghost Annihilation Services, which flows next with a cha-ching and a blueprint. Mrs. Gunn's blueprint. This blueprint represents what would have been the crowning achievement of Mrs. Gunn's career if she hadn't died before actually getting it into production. Alrighty then. Okay, so, I mean, this guy needs to be brought to some kind of justice, right? Well, we finished here. I got a business to run. That's gonna be tricky with all the internal bleeding. Yeah, I mean, I'm normally like live and let live, but this guy's a prick. Are you giving me 7 targets? Wow, he only has 32 hit points. Wow, weak. Blammo! Oh, so we have to take care of the bullets first. Alright, we'll do that. You okay there? Well, just... Okay, I give up. Oh. Chet falls to his knees. You decide to let him dangle for a moment while you ride through his stuff. You beat the hell out of Chet Bullet, then hog-tie him and drag him to the visitor center. The employees assure you they'll handle him over to the sheriff of whatever jurisdiction this is. Well, that's it. You reckon you brought some reckoning to Gun Manor. Not the best possible reckoning, mind you. Maybe there's a better way to deal with Chet. I mean, there's definitely a better way to deal with Chet. I don't know why I said maybe. Anyway, feel free to poke around the grounds for looking up loose end to wrap up, but you're pretty much done here. Holy cows. Holy cow, there are some really big bells hanging above you. This house is the biggest bells of them all. I mean, science stuff is really kind of useless right now because all that does is make Florence better. This looks like it operates the large bells hanging above you. Hold on. I'm going to look up if there is a special combination for these bells. Could I maybe have done that without... I mean, maybe I could have walked past him and rung the bells. I don't know. Let's see. What are we? Let's see here. Oh, that would have been a better solution actually. Like, if I had not done anything, if I had not done anything to Chet and just let him be, but yeah. Yeah, so they would basically have handled Chet for us, which would have been the better option. I'm definitely, I'm definitely sad I didn't do that, but I mean, oh, actually, let's, what do you have to say now? I hope he comes back as a ghost so I can shoot him again. Well, that does finish up Reckoning at Gun Manor. And it's been a while. I would say some of the quest, especially the gun law part, was a bit grating. I liked most of it, but I think that it definitely overstayed its welcome. Like, some part of it were definitely okay, cool, but a lot of it was. Do we have some kind of finish? Okay. Right. Well, in the next episode, we shall actually continue with the main storyline. But until then, take care.